I'd like to start with just a moment of silence and prayer and contemplation for Erica, Charlie's wife, his son, and his daughter. Charlie was a friend of mine, so this is one of the more difficult speeches I've given. But one of my favorite moments with him were actually when the cameras were off. We spent a lot of time in front of cameras together, right? Live streaming to social media and in front of thousands of college students on different campuses across the country. But my favorite moments with him were actually when we were together one-on-one. It was often backstage. It was often in a long car ride across the state, or on a couple of occasions, a flight across the country. And we would have conversations that were often philosophical, even occasionally theological in nature. And I have to say, Charlie was a little different. Most of us are. But Charlie was a little different in those settings. He was curious, very open to being challenged, not in the way that was winning an argument, but in the way that was getting to what was true. And we pushed each other. We had a lot of fun in those conversations. One of those conversations I remember was at the University of North Carolina last fall. We were backstage at UNC. And he was such a guy of ideas, right? That's what he wanted to discuss. He loved our history. He says, you know what? You know what messed up our generation's love of capitalism? He's a young millennial, I'm an older millennial. What's that? We'll give the gentleman a moment. Thank you for sharing your thoughts, sir. We appreciate it. Takes me back to those days I was with Charlie on the campuses. So anyway, we're sitting backstage before that, and he says that's what messed up our generation's understanding of capitalism in the 2008 financial crisis. Because he told a young person if they work hard, they play by the rules, they go to college, and they get to live the American dream, and it didn't work out that way. And that jaded us with respect to American capitalism. I think he was right about that. I thought about that when we saw the news of Charlie's assassination this week, because I worry that Charlie's assassination will have the same impact on Gen Z's attitude towards free speech itself. So many of you have college students in this audience. I can't imagine what that death does to the psychology of a generation. Just a few years ago, you were on your college campuses afraid that if at your internship you wore the wrong hat to work, you might not get the full-time job. That you say the wrong thing on your college campus, you may not get the right grade at the end of the semester. And then just over the last year, things began to turn. We made our way towards what it felt like was the light. Young people, particularly on the college campuses that Charlie and his compatriots at Turning Point visited, beginning to have the conviction to speak their mind, whether they were conservative or liberal. It didn't matter. People feeling liberated to actually talk to one another again. And then he shows up on one of those campuses, and what's he doing? He's talking to those people who disagree with him. And then he's shot and killed in cold blood. I cannot imagine what that does to the psychology of an entire generation. Violence is violence. Words are not violence. Violence is violence. And violence is never an acceptable response to words. And yet that's exactly what happened. So the question now is, what is our response to what actually happened? That's a hard question. Think about what would Charlie say in response to that question. And he had a tactic for this. He actually taught it to me. And I'm not one to take debating advice from many people, but Charlie was one of them. And he gave me advice on this, and it's good advice, which is, he said, when you get a hard question, you don't know the answer to this, you can use the process of elimination. You don't know what the right answer is, but I'll tell you what the wrong answer is. He did that countless times when we go to the campus, and I watched it. So what would Charlie say to this? And this is a hard question. How do we respond to this? He'll say, I'll tell you what's the wrong answer. More violence, that's the wrong answer. I'll tell you what's the wrong answer. Backing down. Backing down is the wrong answer. But whatever the right answer is, and I don't have it tonight, but whatever the right answer is, I know it's going to involve more speech, not less. I know that it's going to involve doubling down on our culture of free speech. I know it involves speaking more of your convictions, not less of your convictions. I know it involves more courage, not more fear. I know that much. But I also know that it may require a little more than that. Think about this very personally on how I respond to this. Charlie's death changed me. Just because you have the right to say something does not always automatically make it right to say either. We visited the University of Pittsburgh together last fall, Charlie and I did. And one of the questions we got at Youth Day, I remember this, was somebody came up, because you guys talk about America first a lot. What does that mean? Charlie didn't miss a beat. He said, it means that you put the interests of your own country first above everything else. That's what America is. But what does it mean as an individual? Think about that. If you really mean that, if you really believe that it means putting your country first above everything else, what does it mean? It means put your country first above other foreign countries. If you're a policymaker, definitely that. But it also means on a personal level. Putting your country first means putting America ahead of your own vanity. It means putting America ahead of your own impulse. It means putting America ahead of your own reactivity. That too is what it means to be America first. And I think a way we may challenge ourselves in the aftermath of tragedy is to ask yourself, the next time before you hit post on X, the next time before you hit send on a text message, next time before you say something to your friend or your fellow citizen, just pause for a second, not even a second, pause for a half a second. And ask yourself, is what I'm about to say good for America? Or is what I'm about to say bad for America? And I'm convinced that if every one of us does that, we're going to have a better country on the other side of it. Now, to be clear, we're going to disagree. Different people will disagree on what that means, right? Different people in this country, maybe even here tonight, certainly across our state and definitely across our country, have vastly different opinions on what is actually good for America and what's bad for America. I'm not asking you to resolve that, but for yourself, as one person who utters what you have to say, just pause and ask yourself, do you believe what you are about to say is going to be good for America, or is it going to be bad for America? That too is part of what it means to put America first. That's what Charlie wanted us to do. Put America first, and that's what we're doing. Now, I remember fondly, and I will for the rest of my life, the last time I saw Charlie in person. It was here in Delaware County on August 25th, a little over 2 weeks ago. And we were going to both appear on stage in front of a crowd, just like tonight. My favorite part of the night wasn't that. It was like what I told you in the beginning. It was the time we got to spend backstage. It was one-on-one. Just me and him in a conference room. I got there early because we wanted to hang out. We had planned to catch up. And we had a room. It was just the two of us. None of our staff. Me, Charlie, classic one-on-one. And he goes right to ideals. That's who he was. So I talked about it. All right. So talk about this idea of America first, right? Because I want to workshop something with you. And this is a private conversation, but I feel comfortable sharing it publicly now in light of what happened in the last week. He said, I'm not ready, we're not doing this, on stage in public or anything, but let's workshop something, right? What happens to the Make America Great Again movement after we have already once made America great again? It's a good question. Think about it. It's classic Charlie. Logical, gets to the core. It's about the heart of our country and our national interests. And this is Charlie at his best. So it made me think. I said, okay. I have him caught off guard. I said, okay. Let's talk about that. He said, I got this done. I'll workshop it with you. All right? Stay with me for a second, he said. American victory. That's what comes next. Victory is our manifest destiny. It's Charlie's words. Not mine. Last time I saw him. One-on-one in the conference room in Delaware County. And it was interesting. You think about this guy, this is what's on his mind. The love of this country was in his bones. It was in his soul. That's my message to his misguided killer tonight. Is that you may have killed his body, but you will never kill his soul. Immortal in the United States of America. That's the message to every person who wants to harm or kill our country, the country that Charlie Kirk loved, the country that the people tonight at this vigil love, the country that all of us love. You may try to harm our country, you may try to kill our country, but you will never kill the soul of our country. You will always be the person who fails in harming the United States of America. And tonight I would say there's nothing that stops us from reaching our American victory. As Charlie Kirk said it to me, the last time I saw him, victory is our manifest destiny. And so, tonight, in honor of my friend Charlie Kirk, after his death, we declare not victory, we declare not defeat, but we declare the ultimate victory that's going to last for a long yet time to come. So thank you guys, all right? I appreciate you. United States of America.
Charlie.